and it's a $150 first time, one time only, setup fee. So that's where that $402 comes out to. That's where it comes from. So that's what that fee is, just to offer that. The maximum exposure is $9,000, and the way I came up with that was, we discussed how each person has their spouse on the plan, so their exposure for them would be $3,000, and since there's 3 people on the plan, the exposure would be $9,000. So worst case scenario, if you guys have a, God forbid, not so good year, and everybody meets that exposure, it's going to be $9,000 max. Okay, and then after that's been met, of course, the member's responsible for the remainder. So that's what that maximum exposure means. Maximum savings is $19,813 per year, and that's pretty much if you guys have a wonderful year. Nobody uses any of that funding money that you have set aside. Then the best case scenario is $19,813. Worst case scenario, basically every single person reaches that $3,000 limit, you're still going to be saving the township $10,813 a year. Worst case scenario, even if everybody meets that threshold. So that's what all of those numbers mean. I tried to break it down as easily as I could.
So the savings could be somewhere between 10, 8, and 19.
Which, yes, exactly. Depending on what portion of that $9,000 is going to be used throughout the year. After the green sheet, I went ahead and included, I'm not sure if I included this on the last presentation, but this is the OPEC funding option claim form, and this is what we would have you send in along with the explanation of benefits to go ahead and receive your check to pay for your claim. This is the form that we use. It's not something that we absolutely have to have, but it's something that a lot of our groups like, and it's easy for us to turn around and get the check sent out as soon as possible too. So that's what that is. Also, I wanted to mention, we can do advances as well. So if you guys want to go ahead and do advances for prescriptions, we can do that. If you're on a regular maintenance medication, we can absolutely send you a check to go ahead and pick up your prescription that way. And that, of course, would come out of your fund of that portion, of each person's portion. So it's an option that we can set up for you. That's really the only time that you would have to come up with money, because, obviously the pharmacy's not gonna let you walk out with your prescription and not pay them. So we can do that as well. If you're on something, or if you need to get a prescription filled, you can send this in. This form has a little box, tells you exactly what to do, and then we can go ahead and get you a check sent out of the OPEC funding plan.
But we would have a medical card that we take.
You would have a medical card, yes. This is in addition to it. So if, let's say, you take 2 prescriptions every single month, and you know how much it's gonna be, you would just let us know here, and we would go ahead and get you that check, so you could get your prescription. Receipts to follow after you go ahead and pay for it. We'd like to see the receipts to make sure that, everybody's paying everything correctly.
When I was, we got this card here, like, take it to the doctor and you get, like $10 trip pay.
Yes, you'll have a new card. You'll get a new card in the mail that basically says everything's going to go towards that first $2,000. Okay, so you're not going to have necessarily the copay that you're used to, since it's set up a little bit differently. But you'll still show them your card. You'll still get the negotiated rate, the discount that Anthem has for being in the network, and all of that stuff too. So you'll still want to keep that stuff. But this is the form that we use on a daily basis. If anybody has any questions about the claim or anything like that, we usually get it turned around within 2 days of receiving them. So you should have your check in the mail, very, very shortly after we receive the explanation of benefits.
The issue that Eric brought up on the HRA was primarily the issue with the way the law is with the interim increase. So if we would want to set up an HRA for the future board, would there be, how would that work?
You could do that at the time a new person starts their term.
You wouldn't have to have that set up in advance.
As long as the resolution's signed, you know, when that person steps into office, it wouldn't be considered an interim raise for them. So it's something that, you know, if you're speaking of the insurance, we should have set up as soon as possible, you know, so that it's all ready for the next person that's gonna be serving their term.
According to this, we're limited, we can't go to the HRA now.
Right. You can't go
The
to.
additional savings could be done by now, at that point in time. if we're
Right.
Proactive enough to allow them
Right.
to do that.
Mhm.
So there'd be a cost to initially say that HRA would be available in January.
No, you guys aren't, you know, you can change carriers anytime throughout the year. You know, you're not necessarily set in stone for a whole year. So if you decide to take another look at this before the first of the year and look at a different carrier and change the benefits that way and set up a health reimbursement account, you can absolutely do that. It's definitely something that you can do for sure.
Just has to be before January next year.
Yes. So we would wanna go ahead and get that, if that's something that you guys are very interested in, that's something that we could look at. But basically, I mean, if you look at that Plan 17 and the cost there, you'd be pretty much saving more money if you did the OPEC funding option anyways. Do you guys have any questions for me? I know it's a little confusing.
It just looks like we'd be giving up a bunch on that.
Well, the good thing is, you're gonna reach that, of course, you're gonna reach that amount a little bit quicker. You're gonna reach the $1,500 or $3,000 a little bit faster because everything is gonna go towards that. So, every time you go to the doctor's office, you're gonna be spending however much your visit's gonna be towards that. But if you think about it, you probably, you know, in any given year may have spent more than the remaining $500 just on copays. That whether that's going to the emergency room a couple times a year or going to the doctor's office, it's probably gonna be right around there anyways. So really this plan is a pretty good level of benefits. It's not like you're giving up that much, because it just depends on how you look at it. If you look at all of the money that you spent last year on copays, I'm willing to bet it's probably gonna be pretty similar to what you'd be on the hook for at the end of the year, or, you know, of course, if something big does happen. But you're right, it's definitely different. I mean, it's not the traditional plan that you guys are used to with the copays and everything like that.
We have to pay $1,500 per person.
The township would fund the $1,500 per person or $3,000 per person. So let's say you and your wife, you would have $500 for you, or your wife that you'd have to pay out of pocket, or $1,000 between the both of you. So either way it works out, it's either $500 or $1,000 most. And then after that amount's been met, I mean, if you guys meet $2,000 in the year, and that of course is the first $1,500 from the township, and then the $500 that you pay. If you meet that first $2,000, everything else is gonna be covered in full. You're gonna show your ID card every time you go pick up a prescription, and they're just gonna hand over the prescription to you. It's not gonna be of any charge to you. So that's the good thing about these types of plans too, is you don't have to worry, once you hit that threshold, you don't have to worry about, you know, forking over however much money for a copay.
Megan, do you provide a summer plan description?
We do. We absolutely do. We can get that over to you guys